into office, municipal councillors of Jibombari in the Mungo division of the Littoral region are already holding a red card against the mayor. The municipal councillors are threatening a vote of no confidence against the mayor, accused of incompetence, poor management of adopted public projects and validated projects in the area, and also the mismanagement of funds. It was a tense council session that was aimed at voting the 2022 budget of the Jibombari Council. We shall be giving you a tense atmosphere in this edition of the news. And also, inhabitants of the Douala neighborhood in Buea, that's in the Douala 2 municipality, have chased away elements of the Army Rescue Unit in charge of firefighting. They accuse them of arriving too late to save a building from being completely consumed by flames in that part of the city of Douala. Meantime, victims of the Kondotiti school attack in the Indian of the southwest region of Cameroon have been given an official burial that began today in the seaside resort city of Limbe in the southwest region of Cameroon. The residence of the former mayor of Manfi has been completely burned by armed individuals. Ladies and gentlemen, for choosing to listen to information and get connected to Equinoxe television, you are onto the prime time edition of the news. We live from Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city, Equinoxe Central News Desk. We will be starting on human interest to talk about angry inhabitants of a part of the city of Douala. They are those of the Douala 2 municipality, that soldiers of the Army Rescue Unit in charge of firefighting have been chased back by angry inhabitants of the Douala neighborhoods of Buea, that in the Douala 3 municipality, rather Douala 2 municipality. The locals accuse these soldiers of failing to intervene on time to save a building and apartments from ravaging flames. The story building on your screen went in flames this afternoon in the city of Douala when a fire incident broke out in one of the apartments of the neighborhood. Our sources in Buea say efforts from the local population could not rescue a larger content of the apartment, which unfortunately got completely consumed by the ravaging flames. With the occupants absent at the time of the incident, locals forced open the main door but could not succeed in removing few contents, or got to remove just few contents from the main parlor of the apartments affected by the fire incident. Though alerted on time, according to the local inhabitants, the soldiers of the Army Rescue Unit in charge of firefighting arrived at the place too late, according to inhabitants, and could not help in saving or helping the content from being completely burned by the ravaging flames. And in a related story, we take you to another fire incident, this time around in Buea in the southwest region of Cameroon, to say that enormous material damage has been recorded in another fire incident in Buea, chieftain of the southwest region. Today, local sources say the incident occurred at about 4 a.m. Thursday, December 23rd, 2021. Consuming several shops at a place known as the Lyonga Junction in Buea town of Buea. Though the source of the incident and the flames has not been clearly determined by Buea local inhabitants, local sources blame it on the absence of an Army Rescue Unit base in the town of Buea for the enormous material damage, as in to say that the absence of our firefighting brigade in Buea favored the enormous damage caused by the ravaging flames. We are keen on the story in Buea, and sure we'll be coming back to it, but we're still in the southwest region of Cameroon to talk about another fire incident, and this time around in the Manu division of the southwest region of the country, where the residents of the former mayor of Manfi, Manfi Council in the manual of the Southwest region, Mr. Ayuk John Takunchong, has been reduced to ashes. Sources say the house of the former mayor was burned on Thursday night, breaking Wednesday, December the 22nd, 2021 by suspected separatist fighters. An online news organ in Cameroon reports that the arsonists accompanied the burning with heavy gunshots, leaving residents scared and indoors. The same outlet quotes popular views in Cameroon linking the attack and the burning of the residents to recent utterances and outings of the former mayor, who recently called on local inhabitants of the local population to join and kick out separatist fighters. The residents, as you have on your screen, has been completely reduced to nothing by the unfortunate fire incident. Progressively from the FACO, we took you to the Manu division, and this time around to the neighboring Jan of the Manu division, where some individuals were killed and others severely wounded in an attack on government bilingual high school Equinoxe Titi. That was on November the 25th, 2021, and the school kids, 4 of them who were massacred, and his teacher were given honor today in an official burial ceremony that began in the seaside resort city of Limbe. Limbe is in the Fako division. The event saw the presence of Cameroon's Minister of Secondary Education, Nalova Lyonga, and also the Southwest Regional Governor, Bernard Okalia Bilai. David Sinman will tell us more from Limbe.
Kochi Jocelyn, Amso Emmanuel, Kamjo Emmanuel, Kum Emmanuel Jr., and a teacher, Mrs. Maga Celestine, killed by alleged separatist fighters at Government Balingo High School Equinoxe Titi on the 20th of November 2021. The deceased families are still in disbelief.
My mom always taught me how to trust in God, even when she's in her absence. I can remember Allah saying to me, don't allow education to take the place of God in you. So I believe wherever she is now, she's happy with me.
I was thinking that my daughter would bury me. I'm surprised to see that I'm instead burying my daughter. You people should pray for me. I am not feeling fine. I am really broken in my heart, in my spirit.
Minister Nalova of Secondary Education consoled the families and promised government constant support in seeing them go through the ordeal, as she decorated the casket of the deceased teacher.
And the virtue of the powers conferred on me, I hereby decorate you Knight of Academic Honors posthumous.
The various speakers from Diant Divisional Delegate of Secondary Education, Mobia Ophelia, the principal of Government Bilingual High School Equinoxe Titi, Nyamba Henry, the mayor to Equinoxe Titi Municipality, Nanje Kenneth, to the clergies, all condemned the act, saying education remains a fundamental right to all, and pray for a lasting solution to the ongoing Anglophone armed conflict.
The choice of Limbe for the ceremony has also provoked a debate on social media. Some who think that the events could not unfold on Equinoxe Titi, as the insecurity is a real problem, as the situation remains precarious in terms of security in Equinoxe Titi. Some, however, question why it could not be taken to the Indian Divisional Chieftain of Mundemba, and rather it was in the Fako division of the Southwest region of Cameroon. But remember that the school kids were massacred during an attack on the school, that is Government Bilingual High School Equinoxe Titi. That was on the 25th of November 2021. We shall be coming back to some of the reactions in the course of that event. But as we told you in our top stories, the mayor of Dibombari, just like other mayors in different council areas in Cameroon, was voted during the legislative and municipal elections in Cameroon in 2020. The mayor has not been in office for 2 years, but he is already facing threats of a vote of no confidence from his co-municipal councillors of Dibombari. They are holding a red card already against the mayor, accusing him of incompetence, swindling of public funds, and the very poor execution of already earmarked projects within the Dibombari council area. It was rather a tense council session that was aimed at voting the budget for the municipality for 2022. Immaculate Fogo tells us more in the following report.
A council session in Dibombari, Mungo division of the Littoral region, turned sour after 20 councillors out of 35 decide to boycott the session meant to adopt the 2022 budget. Despite the boycott, the mayor goes ahead to hold the council session, going against the rules and regulations of the council. The mayor is said to have falsified the name of some of the councillors in order to reach the quorum so as to get the budget voted. After being informed of what occurred, the angry councillors stormed the council premises, denouncing what they qualify as forgery. Journalists who were on the scene to cover the budgetary session were denied access into the hall, with some others brutalized and their cameras seized. Since last year, councillors have been at loggerhead with their mayor over claims of misappropriation of funds, the non-execution of developmental projects, with some other projects poorly executed.
I don't have a particular problem with the mayor. My problem is that when we were doing a campaign, I told my population where I come from, Yato, we promised them that we need to supply them water at Mulanga and Basa. But since over getting to 2 years, nothing has been done. And each time I go to the mayor and I lay the complaint to him, he said I will look into it. The street light I have never got. The temporary, when the electric solar, I have never got. So I have never benefited anything in my area from that council.
Another bone of contention is the poor management of the taxes gotten from the quarry and the municipality. The councillors denounced the fact that the revenues gotten from there is sent to the mayor's private account rather than the council coffers. Despite these tensions, the council budget was voted behind closed doors with the amount not communicated by the mayor.
Households and housewives in Banga, another locality still in the Mungo of the Littoral region of Cameroon, are already complaining of the effects of the hike in prices of food items and basic commodities in several markets in the town and the municipality of Banga. Some of them say that they will not just be able to meet up with their budget and the expectations of the festive month of December. Our reporter Mala Glory went to the Mbanga market and compiled the following report.
The inhabitants of Mbanga in the Mungo division, most especially housewives, are heated by the inflation on the prices of food items and clothes this Christmas period. The high cost of clothes and shoes in this locality makes it difficult for the retailers to make profit while affecting the buyer's budget. Despite the announcement made by the Divisional Delegate of Commerce during last Monday meeting to stabilize prices on the market, nothing has been done.
Things are very dear. Even the jean trouser that we usually take from Douala at lower price like 4-5, we come here to sell it at 5,000, 5 down. It depends the way customer will buy it. But this year, when you take it at 4,500 francs, you came here in Banga, you will sell it at 3,500. You even force them to take it back at that 4,500 francs. They are not taking it.
With the rise on the prices of food items such as fish, meat, vegetable oil, chicken and tomatoes, it is challenging for housewives to manage the household during this festive.
For rice is very expensive. The rice I usually buy half bag for 11,000 now is 13,000. Mayo from 5,000 to 7 something. Fish, even the mackerel fish, I don't really know what's happening. For our chicken, to have chicken now, chicken is very, very rare. And even if you see one small chicken that they can, at first they were giving for 3,000, you see it now the price 6,000 or 7,000.
In the Mungo, just like everywhere in Cameroon, prices of food items and other materials have been fluctuating since the beginning of this year. But for the few past months, and especially December, the prices have rapidly thereby making life expensive for the population. They therefore call on the authorities to intervene in order to ameliorate their living condition.
Malak Glory and some observers in Cameroon have also been criticizing the communique and the release of Cameroon's Minister of Trade regulating prices. They say that the minister, however, failed to state the prices of basic goods and food items in the market at the time when the minister was warning against those causing artificial scarcity in order to hike prices of basic goods and commodities in markets across Cameroon. It's been a problem affecting several households and individuals in the country, and they say that the prices keep rising as days go deeper into the month of December. There are no hopes that the prices might even decrease as Cameroonians prepare to celebrate the feast of Christmas, but also that of the New Year. Coming up is Talking Points. Still for us.
Foot soldiers of head coach Antonio Conceição da Silva Oliveira, already known. Supporters of the Indomitable Lions are waiting to see if this team will host and keep the trophy when the tournament ends on the 6th of February 2022. 11 players in the list of coach Antonio Conceição da Silva Oliveira: Andre Onana, Fai Collins, Michael Ngando, Ambrose Oyongo, Zambo Angisa, Pierre Kunde Malong, Clinton J, Christian Basogok, Eric Maxim Chupumuti, and Carl Tokwe Kambi were present in the last African Cup of Nations that took place in Egypt in 2019. During that competition, team captain Vincent Abubakar, who was nursing an injury, missed out. In a whole, 16 new players will add up to the experienced ones as Cameroon hosts the Nations Cup. The likes of Ebose Enzo, Nuhu Tolo, Jerome Ongene, Okudi Harold, Olivier Mbaizo, Davis Epasi, Simon Omosola, Neyu Ivan, James Leah Siliki, Ignatius Ganago, Nicolas Gamale, and Samuel will be discovering the AFCON for the first time. The list published by coach Antonio Conceição da Silva Oliveira is dominated by French Ligue 1 that has 9 players in the squad. The likes of Ambrose Oyongo Bitolo and Jay Clinton have been recalled to the team after being left out during other matches due to injuries and poor performance respectively with the clubs. Meanwhile, it will be a baptism of fire for Ebose Enzo, who is having the first cap with Cameroon at the Africa Cup of Nations. Cameroon, which is lodged in Group A of the tournament based in Yaoundé, alongside Burkina Faso, Ethiopia, Cape Verde, will start their quest for the trophy against Burkina Faso on January 9, 2022. The players of the Indomitable Lions are expected to start camping for the tournament on the 27th of December 2021. 2 warm-up encounters will spice up the Lions' preparation for the AFCON. 3rd of January 2022, the Indomitable Lions will take on the Sili Nacional of Guinea, and the last warm-up match might be against the Atlas Lions of Morocco.
That was Magic and Gabriel on the known 28-man squad of coach Antonio Conceição of the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. He indicated that the coach Antonio Conceição has introduced new blood in the squad of the Indomitable Lions and recalled other players like Ambrose Oyongo Bitolo and Nje Clinton. Coming up is Talking Point. Talking Point today, we are receiving Donald Ngateng. We are receiving a youth leader and also a promoter of our Cameroon Skills Festival youth leader. Thanks for accepting our invitation.
Thank you, Armstrong. It's a pleasure being once more on this platform to talk about skills development and vocational training as far as youth employability is concerned.
And of course, which you say that it has a great role to play in terms of helping youth stay off radicalization.
Skills development and vocational training is a twofold way. Firstly, it curbs unemployment, gives youth employment, and secondly preserves them from violence. So it has a two-way. Skills development leads to employment, and employment in turn is an alternative for radicalization.
Then what do we understand by skills development? Skills development at a time when most youth who are sometimes have sometimes been radicalized already. You go detail, you find out that they are holders of, some of them are holding degrees, they've graduated from institutions. Then what is the difference between whatever they've acquired in different schools with what you're talking about, skill development?
If you look, there is the classical way of education, like they say the grammar way of education, and secondly there is technical, vocational and educational training, which most of our friends that unfortunately were considered as dull, not very intelligent, were sent to the technical school. They acquired skills that will help them to gain employment, because just to think of it, most employers consider new graduates as being ill-prepared for the work market. You have a master's degree in journalism, for example, you cannot do a press release. Or maybe you have a master's degree in engineering from a university and you cannot maybe fix a bulb. So most of the times the problem of unemployment comes because young people are not prepared for the job market. No employer will want to employ you if you are not prepared for the job market. So now skills development, which takes into consideration vocational, technical training and even soft skills, prepares young people aside education for the job market.
Yes, coming to add to whatever they must have acquired on formal education.
Formal education. Now you have technical or vocational or soft skills development. Because, for example, I cannot employ an accountant who cannot use Excel or who cannot use Microsoft or other accounting apps or platforms. That is when it comes to soft skills development.
All right, in a context like that of Cameroon, where we have youth complaining of unemployment, and of course we're having unemployment having a disturbing rate, we're also having insecurity with youth radicalized and in different fronts, in different regions. What then is lacking?
What is lacking, I must say, is skills development, and I will say vocational and technical education. For example, hands-on skills are very necessary for young people. Take, for example, IDPs. Those who are IDPs, what they need is training that will help them to be sustainable. Bags of rice, savons is good, humanitarian aid, but I think that skills development plays an important role. It will help them to.
You outlined the importance of skill development. My concern now is, does it mean that Cameroonians have not yet understood the necessity of acquiring these skills, or they do not have the opportunity or platforms to get them, to acquire them in order to empower themselves?
It's a two-way. I would say 80% Cameroonians have understood. 20% they don't have the platform that will help them to do these trainings.
And which is necessary. And stakeholders also need to help.
Yes. That's what we are currently doing now. We are training young people when it comes to skills development. We might not have all the funding, but the little we have, for about 500 young people who have indicated that they want to actually do vocational and technical training. So we are assisting them in our own little way.
Thank you very much, you leader, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for staying with us. We urge you to stay in the company of interesting programs. We shall be taking you to Yaoundé for newspapers and back to Douala for Equinoxe.
Ce jeudi sur Equinoxe Télé.